So I know this video is going to get some unpopular feedback, but we're here to tell the truth. And I genuinely believe that this is the truth. Marriage is a business. Hear me out. Marriage is actually a business. Marriage used to always be about business. Back in the day, traditionally, marriage was about bringing two families together, right? And it was also a lot of the time about keeping assets between certain groups of people. Which is why, like the royal family back in the day, and this includes our late queen, her parents did this, they would marry their cousins. People who were in powerful positions like ambassadors, aristocrats, the royal family, dukes, all of that, they would marry extended family members who also came from wealth that they were almost distantly connected to. They wouldn't marry some normal person who just worked at the shop down the street or just some normal person who wasn't on their level, because it was about maintaining wealth within the families. It was a business. But marriage also used to be a deal between men and women. Back in the day, women didn't have the same equal opportunity as men, right? And it's amazing that they do, and of course they should, and it is statistically, systematically proven that a society does better and is more prosperous when you have equality of opportunity for all, right? So that goes without saying. But women didn't have the same level of opportunity to work in careers and fields as men did. And traditionally, marriage was a deal between men and women. The deal was, hey, if I marry you, then I as a man will provide and protect you. You will always have a place to sleep. You will always have food on the table. You will always have someone who is willing to die for you. From a woman to a man, what it meant was, okay, I promise that I will look after the home. I promise that I will protect you spiritually. And I also promise to be sexually exclusive to you. So you know that any children that I bear are yours. That was the agreement. That was the contract. And then what happened was that we got romanticized about marriage through novels, through films, and through Shakespeare. And I'm a lover of Shakespeare. I'm an actor. So listen, I love my boy Shakespeare. But it's true. We started to romanticize about marriage through the media that we consumed and that we continue to consume. Through Disney films, romantic films, and then marriage was no longer about a business or a contract or a deal between two individuals or two families. Marriage became about love. It became about finding your soulmate. It became about having someone that you can have everything with, that you can learn from, inspires you, teaches you. And while this is a beautiful thing, and this isn't me saying that we shouldn't look for someone who can reflect that kind of dynamic and that kind of relationship, that's the companionship side of marriage, not the business side of marriage. And it seems that we have forgotten today that marriage is a contract between the state and the couple. Now, what I find interesting is that a lot of men see marriage as the business side of things, the contract, but a lot of women see marriage as the romantic side of things, the companionship. Men see it as a business contract, women see it as romanticized tradition. And even though as a whole, men and women today now do look at marriage quite differently from different perspectives, the truth is most men want to get married. That's the thing. Most men are actually romantics who want to get married. They want to have a woman that they can share their life with. They want to have a woman that they can create special memories with. They want to have a woman that they can have children with. All of these experiences. But because of how bad the marriage contract is today, men are forced to see it as a business, as a deal via a company. And the truth is, yes, more men today in the West, at least in the modern world, they're looking at this deal and they're being like, I don't want to sign my name on that dotted line. That's how a lot of men see it. Another thing that's contributed to this problem is that you used to not be able to have sex outside of marriage. Sex outside of marriage was frowned and shamed upon. And believe it or not, sex was a big incentive why men wanted to marry a woman back in the day, because it meant they could allow themselves to have physical intimacy without getting in trouble for it. Now, we all just have sex whenever we want. Right? In fact, now I say it's the reverse. People outside of marriage have more sex than people who are in a marriage. My gosh, I'm laughing, but that's actually really sad. Now, if you're a woman watching this and you want marriage, right? You still dream of walking down the aisle and having your man that you've chosen and he has chosen you and you have an exciting future together. I'm not saying all of this to dishearten you. In fact, quite the opposite. The reason I'm going through this is to try and help you see how men see marriage, because by you understanding that about men and how they view it, that's actually going to help you have a level of love, a level of empathy and compassion and understanding, which will make men want to marry you because you get what it means for them, not just for you, but for them as well. Like, let's separate the companionship from the business, right? Because a marriage is companionship plus business. Whether we want to look at it that way or not, that's how it slices. So just for one moment, let's look at marriage as the business, right? So we say, hey, I choose you to be the CFO of my company. And we go, hey, I choose you to be the CEO of this company. And look, the man can be the CEO, the woman can be the CEO, anyone can play whatever position, right? But this is what we're saying. One person CEO, one person CFO of a company. That's the company marriage, right? When you get married, you are starting a company together. This means that while there is going to be an element of companionship, there is also going to be work that you have to do that you don't want to do for the benefit of the company. And the issue is, because people don't see marriage as a company that you have both promised to be the CEO and CFO on, because people don't see it that way, they don't do the work that is required of them that they need to, that they may not want to do, that's going to help the company thrive. You're going to have to submit to doing something that is for the benefit of the other person, because that is what serves the company in that moment. And the thing that makes a marriage company different to all other conventional commercial companies out there is that there are things that you're going to have to do for the benefit of the relationship, the companionship side of the company, that ties into the romantic relationship that you have with your partner. When people work for a business, when people work for a company, right, they go, okay, I don't want to have to do some of this work. In fact, maybe probably most of this work, but I'm going to because it benefits the company and it benefits me. They don't do these things because they feel like doing them. They do it because they have to do it in order for the business to thrive. And I truly believe that this is the mistake that a lot of us make in relationships and within marriages, right? That they think, oh, well, if I don't feel like doing it, then it must mean that this isn't the right thing for me. Because I don't feel like going through the fine print of that contract to make sure it's airtight so we don't get screwed over on the deal, because I don't feel like doing that, I must be working for the wrong business. The truth is, with anything in life, there are going to have to be things that we don't want to do to help facilitate what we want. Let's even take a career passion that you have, right? Let's say your career is your passion. If it is, you're actually one of the 5% of lucky people on the planet, because most people have jobs, not careers. And there's a big difference between that. The only way I would say the difference between that is, if you won the lottery tomorrow, would you still go into work on Monday? If the answer is yes, you have a career with passion. If the answer is no, you have a job. There's nothing wrong with that, right? Most people have jobs, and you can have a job that you enjoy, right? Anyway, let's even take that you are passionate about your career or your job. There are going to be things in that, whatever you do, that you don't want to have to do. Take me, for example, okay? My main bread and butter is my acting, okay? That's my main income. That's my career. You know, things have been going well. There are plenty of things that I have to do that I don't want to do. Like, for example, having to do 8 rounds for a show or for a film, having to learn, 10 pages of script for an audition that I'm probably unlikely to get, right? There are plenty of things I have to do that I don't want to, but it helps facilitate the thing that is my soul food, which is telling stories. And I think if we all can approach marriage with this mindset of a company and understanding it's a business, because it's technically a legal one and it's a business you have with your partner, then I think we'd all be much more successful and happier for it. But let me know what you think. If you're looking for a man who sparks up your love life, make sure you subscribe to this wonderful tribe. And as always, keep it slick. Ha!